I'm Paul Burnham. I'm the Vehicle Dynamics Manager for McLaren Automotive. So my team and I have been responsible for the development of the Model Year 15 improvements to the 12C over the last 15 months. And it's great to be here at MPC now. The cars are starting to roll down the line, and it's an exciting time. Yeah, so with the original 12C there was a little bit of feedback that the normal mode and the sport mode in some ways were relatively too close, and so we wanted to move the sport mode to be a little bit more sporty. And so by changing the damping calibration and some of the other settings of the suspension, we've increased the differentiation between normal mode and sport mode. So in normal mode you're still keeping the great ride comfort, but the sport mode is a little more sporty, try to make the car a little more agile while still maintaining a really usable ride comfort level. So also in all three of the driver handling modes, the normal, sport and track, for 650S we have changed the settings slightly so the whole car has a slightly more sporty feel, and we've deliberately tried to enhance the front grip relative to the rear, which is aided by the increased downforce, so that the car is a little more pointy. The front turns in a little bit more precisely, to enhance that feeling of driver entertainment. So the 650S is in many ways quite similar to the original 12C in that the track performance is very important, but particularly with the increased downforce that we get with the new front end and the changes that we've made to improve the agility and grip of the car, the whole track performance is enhanced just a little bit in every area. So there's better straight line performance from the new powertrain, there's better grip from the new damping calibration, and particularly more front end grip with the improved aerodynamics. Yeah, okay. So the front and rear spring rates have increased on the 650S model, and to give the car a little more sporty feel. In fact, the rear spring rates have increased slightly more than the fronts, which enhances the agility of the car and makes it slightly more exciting for the driver. But we don't believe that's a significant deficit in ride comfort. The car is still very well balanced, and we've done a lot of development work to make sure that we're still maintaining as good ride comfort as we can whilst getting better performance. So on the 650S model there's a number of changes under the skin to the suspension, particularly targeting improvements around the feel over impact when you hit severe bumps or potholes. So the damper unit, although very similar in concept to the original 12C damper, it's got a whole new top end that has a different valving arrangement, so the fluid can flow more easily, and we have a different type of valving, which means that we can have better control of the dampers in those situations. And all of that helps to, along with a different rubber mount on the top, helps to improve the impact isolation of the car. So these damper changes on the 650S model could, in theory, be applied to an original 12C. The basic structure of the car is the same, but the method of mounting the top of the damper is quite different, so it would require quite a lot of rework to an existing car. And also the software calibration for the 650S model is quite different, and you would have to make sure you had the same hardware and software together. So the roll stiffness of the 650S model is slightly improved over the original 12C, but it's not by a great deal. The way we achieve it in terms of the suspension is slightly different in terms of the sizes of some of the damper units, but actually the car was already very stiff for a road car in track mode, and that carries across, but it's not substantially different in the new model. So some of the feedback from the market suggested that Corsa tyres which were available on the original 12C weren't taken up by very many customers, and we feel actually the Corsa tyre is a very good option for many people's normal driving. It gives away very little in terms of cold weather and wet performance, but it is a little bit more precise and better on track with a more durable compound. So we were quite keen for more people to use coarser tyres on the new model, and so we fitted the coarser tyre as standard because of those reasons, and also because we feel it enhances the feel of the car, so it matches the other changes that we've made to the 650s model. Yeah, so for the 650s model, the carbon ceramic brakes are fitted as standard, and that's because a lot of customers are using their cars on track, and so they're wanting carbon ceramic brake performance. It also helps us to improve unsprung mass, and so we can improve the damping calibration to suit those brakes. But as much of a difference to the brakes and the fact that we've got carbon ceramics is we made improvements to the brake booster. Some of the feedback on the original 12C was that the brake feel could be improved, and so we've attempted to do that, and so the booster on the 650s model is less aggressive. It still has the same improved ability to modulate, but with a less aggressive initial onset of braking that we believe everybody will think is a good step forward. So overall, the 650s is just that little bit more engaging to drive than the original 12C. We've taken what we believe are the strengths of the original car, and we've tried to improve on some of the weaknesses. And so what you've got with the 650s now is a car that's faster, but it's also more engaging. So with the changes to the suspension and the tyres and the brakes, it's all a more rewarding experience, and one that the driver can just engage with that little bit more. So also on the 650s version of the Model Year 15 12C, we've made some changes to the stability control ESC settings. So whilst broadly speaking they're still as before, so normal mode is relatively safe, and you go through up to track mode, which is designed to give much more freedom to slide the car around on track. The whole system has been refined, so it's smoother. It's still aimed to do the same thing, but it does allow a little more slip. So you can say roughly for the same amount of safety, we're trying to increase the amount of fun that you can have with the car. So we've also enhanced the air brake system on the 650s model. The basic functionality is still similar to the original 12C, but we've increased the number of cases where the wing will operate. So if you go over a vertical crest and the car is going to tend to take off, then the wing will rise in that situation. And there's also a new DRS function, so that if you have the wing in the driver selected position, then if you're going at full throttle in a straight line, the wing will back off to give minimum drag, rather like the Formula 1 car and the P1.